This is KUGAN CASSIUS at York Hall. With me, I have got Johnny Greaves. It's the 100 show. You've finally done it. How do you feel, John?
Mate, fantastic. Do you know what? Truthfully, I've always said I was going to have the 100 fights, but there's been times in there I've had some really hard nights, and I didn't think I'd be able to get me 100. So to actually get here finally at the end is just a dream come true. It's just unbelievable. It is almost as if you get fighters coming through, the young lads, the up and coming, the winning fighters, brilliant British titles, and that's the stuff their dreams made of. Me actually getting to me 100 with the help of Carl Greaves over there, it's just been fantastic. I never thought I'd get to me 100, and I'll never forget it now. Like I say, that's such a massive achievement. I'm close to tears now just talking about it, so it's just massive for me. It's massive.
13th of February 2009, you had your first one, I believe.
Yeah.
That was Dan Stewart back then, so 4 years on, which isn't a great amount of time.
No,
you've managed to get in
when it's all down
under
to Carl
fights.
Greaves. Carl was by far, like I say, the best manager in the country by a million miles, and it's always helped. He's been as well as just my manager. He's one of my best mates as well. So, like I say, whenever Carl gets me a fight, I know full well it's the right decision. I ain't even got to look into the lads. Like I say, at times you get off of the fight. If you looked into their past and the records of what they've done, you'd probably go, do you know what? Sorry, I got a party or something that night. But you know what? Whenever Carl said I got an opponent, I know Carl. He's a mate of mine. He knows. I know he'd look after me. So, like I say, I've taken every fight Carl's ever offered at me, and here we are now. It's 100 fights. So now, at long last, I can get fat. I can smoke. I can drink. I can. I can do whatever I've got to do. But like I say, that's definitely me done. I could be offered a world title shot for 101. And do you know what? I don't want it. If they offer me £1 million, I can't have the normal fights. I'm finished. My body's had enough.
Well, you finished on a victory tonight, 39-37, so you must be pleased.
Absolutely unbelievable to finish. To be honest, there was times in the second round now, end of the second, I was getting a bit tired there. Like I say, I had so much nervous energy I was burning up before the fight there. Like I say, I've been dreaming about the 100 fight since I had my first one, and that's God's honest truth. So, like I say, just sitting there during the day and thinking about you, burn up energy. 2 rounds in, I thought, do you know what, I'm fucking knackered. So, like I say, just to hear that final bell, get the hand raised, was just an absolute dream come true for me. It was fantastic. I'll never forget that, ever, no matter what.
Out of 100 fights, who would you say was your most difficult as opponent?
Oh, like I say, it was hard because I took different opponents at different stages of my career. The early parts of my career, I was younger, I was fresher, but I didn't have the experience. Now, to be honest with you, you could go in against a better opponent than he boxed back then, but make it an easier night because of the experience. But the Venezuelan boy I boxed on the Hay and Harrison card was just an absolute venomous puncher. I've never felt anything like it. Gavin Rees, obviously, me and Carl took that fight on at 16 hours notice, I think. In that time, I still had to get to Wales. That was an hard night's work. But then again, all the boys, Scotty Cardle, Christ, I didn't even know what corner I walked back to after that. So there's been so many tough fights. The Crawlers and, the Welsh boy, what's his name? Record, there's been so many great quality fighters, and like I say, to be honest, I think I've taken too many right-handers to remember every last one of them. But like I say, the Venezuelan, especially because he just punched so hard, he punched like an heavyweight. And Gavin Rees, obviously, like I say, taking the fight at 15 hours notice, plus getting up to Wales, after he'd already won a world title. That was a hard night's work, I won't lie. But yeah, there's been so many great fights. Just to pull out just one, you can't really do that, to be honest with you. It was all, I don't remember half of them, to be honest with you. I'll have to look for the record to even tell you I've been in with.
What is next for you now in the immediate, say, 6 months?
Like I say, to be fair, Frank, my brother, is doing extremely well training the fighters up. Now, like I say, winning fights is a different kettle of fish to me, like I say. But as far as the opponents, any boys that want to get out on the road and want someone that knows what they're talking about, I'd love to get a stable full of opponents, a stable full of journeymen, because I really, truly believe entertainment. Well, I believe I was one of the best that this country's produced in years and years. So, like I say, there's a few better technical fighters than me, but I had a bit of everything. I had heart, I had balls, I had entertainment. I could box a bit when I was in the mood. So, like I say, I just want to get myself a little team of opponents together, a little team of journeymen, and I'll be the next Nobby Knobs. I've got no problem with that. Yeah.
Johnny, do you want to come and work for us?
I'd be more than happy to come to work for you. Like I say, a career without getting punched, I'd be fantastic. I'd like to think I could got what it takes to get in front of a camera, but I'd love to, KUGAN. If there's an invitation.
Where's Frank? Frank, come here. Come here a sec. All right, listen, hold on. This is your audition now.
Yeah, go on.
You interview your brother.
Right, Frank. Of all the years you've been with me, working with me, what's been the hardest night, and what do you remember the most about working with your brother?
I would say probably the hardest one emotionally is tonight, to be honest with you. After today, I'm going to be absolutely shattered.
Well, I can still remember quite a few fights where you've been extremely pissed
But
off.
yeah. To be honest with you, yeah. There was one up in Manchester when you actually stopped boxing and bollocked me halfway through the round and took about 4 clean shots. That weren't clever.
Yeah, but Frank, all I can say before this interview was ended, it was done out of love, mate.
Oh yeah. From you, yeah. I hated it, mate. You loved it.
It's hard to me to do this interview at the minute, Kugan, because I've got one of my teeth half hanging out. So I'll tell you what, if you don't mind,
we're going back.
Off, mate.
We'll go back. Let me come back in here. Frank, come in here. Carl, come in here as well. Carl. Greaves overload. Give us a little tribute to the 100-man in professional boxing.
When I signed this kid up, it was like I went to a Nottingham on a John Ashton Unlicensed show, and got there, reading through the programme. I thought Johnny Greaves, and obviously having the same name, I thought he just stuck in my head. I thought I want to see this kid fight tonight. He was fighting a kid called Roger Brotherhood, who was my stablemate when I was pro from Mansfield. And I watched him and I thought, he's got something about him. He was doing the alley shuffle and I thought he could win this fight easy if he wanted to. Come out of the ring and obviously he'd heard of me from obviously when I was pro and that.
When we was in our...
And he says, oh, fucking hell, Carl Greaves. He says, well, you know what I mean? We swapped numbers. I said, well, I never thought about going pro and that. He was like, never really been into it. He said, never really trust anybody down my way. I said, well, here's my card. We had a chat. And I said to one or two, even John Ashton, I says, Johnny was on about going pro and that. He'll never bother going pro. He's too thinking to this unlicensed now. And obviously, we swapped numbers. He rang me on the Monday morning. He was just serious about going pro. And I says, yeah, we'll meet up. So we did the paperwork, applied to the Southern Area Council. The rest is history, honestly. 100 fights in 4 years. Absolutely.
I think about 5 weeks after I was on the pro bill. So like I say, it swung by really quickly, but it's the best decision I've ever made. Like I say, I'm not just saying it because Cole's here. I've said it to loads of people in the past. As far as managers, and listen, Cole takes care of his fighters. He would never. I know if Cole got me a match, I knew it weren't stupid. I knew Cole wasn't doing it for a pound note. So I've trusted every word Cole's ever said to me. And like I say, it's got me to 100 fights. So I obviously made the right decision. Cole, like I say, we're not family, but I wish we was because Cole's a top man.
Can have me in tears in a minute. Behave yourself.
Sorry, Cole.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate.
His brother's a great lad as well. I mean, he's an underrated trainer. The trouble is in this game, I'm not just saying it, a lot of good trainers are well known and obviously getting the recognition because they've got good fighters, you know what I mean? Frank's at the minute, I'm not saying he ain't got good fighters, obviously he's got a good journeyman or whatever, but you give Frank somebody,
just retired.
you get somebody like, give Frank an ABA champion, he'll take him all the way. I'm telling you, he's a good trainer. I've watched him, he's very knowledgeable, studies the game, he watches, you know what I mean? He's a good trainer, he'll tell you. And I tell you, you give this lad a good fighter and he'll take him all the way. But he's just getting the opportunity, you know what I mean? A lot of these trainers are getting the recognition because they've already had good fighters, ABA champions, Commonwealth Games, gold medalists. They're going to work with him because they've got something to work with, if you know what I mean. But this man, give him a good fighter and he'll show.
Everything I've got to the pair of you standing in front of me there, I love the pair of them more than anything. I'm going to cry again, so I better get this out of the camera. But no, cheers.
All right, listen, can we just have 3 cheers for Johnny Greaves? Hooray! Hip, hooray! Hip, hooray! Well done, Johnny Greaves, Frank Greaves, Carl Greaves. Hi from London, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, KUGAN, you're an absolute star, but thanks for your time. It means it well.
No problem, well done. All right, I'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much.
Give me a shout.
100%.
I'll do a little bit for you.
100%.
Absolutely love it.
Well, you'll be part of our team, Team iFilm.
Fantastic, boys. James, you're a fucking superstar. Thanks a lot, mate. Means the world. Now I'm going to go out and get fucking smashed.
Okay.